All right. Should stay connected now. All right. Hey y'all. So I am here live with you guys tonight. Tonight's intention is to do some photography mistakes. Okay. Reason why I call it that is because I want to take the nervousness away of being a photographer. That goes with setting up your lighting, set up with your equipment, understanding your equipment, and sometimes when we're inside of a shoot itself, we are limited with time, so we aren't allowed to just try out a bunch of different things and obviously make mistakes within that time. So I am giving myself this grace period. Every Thursday, I will come live on here to be able to try out some different lighting techniques, try out some things I might see online, things I just want to just attempt to see what it looks like in person, and ultimately get feedback, obviously, but more so for me to get more practice. All right, so you guys will be seeing me make all types of mistakes during this hour, and I might not be on for the whole hour, but that's gonna be kind of the goal. So that way, I am giving myself the a right amount of time to be able to really play with some stuff. Okay, so to get started, I'm actually in the middle of still setting up. So if you see my, this is my setup so far. All right, and this is for me doing my first set. So I'm doing two sets. They're gonna be about a half an hour a piece, about. So the first set's gonna have the red backdrop. All right, and I got my continuous light here, and of course I have my camera set up here, which is a Canon T7 Rebel. Okay, see that right there, and Canon T7. All right, and it right now it currently has um the 50 millimeter lens on it. Okay, so and now I'm going to explain to you how I even got to that thought process as far as using that one to start. Then of course I have my reflector here as well, and then I'm supposed to beam off the light from where my light source is going to be. Ambient light is pretty much for the most part turned off, so only the light that's here being lit is from my softbox. Okay, now this softbox I actually will make I have a video about it, but I have this particular light that actually is controlled by this remote. Okay, so if you're starting out with photography and you want to be able to kind of control your lighting, I know a lot of times if you get a softbox and you get one of the big bulbs, then you'll notice that those big bulbs are really, you can't control them for real, right? Like you really have to be able to get um you have to get them in a condensed area. You got to use your shaping. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. So in here, I ended up buying this particular light bulb just to control it like this. All right, now it only costs like $20, but this is where we are. All right, so thank you guys for, of course, tuning in. For those that are tuning in, and if you're just here to just talk shit, anyway. Nonetheless, I am here for those that actually want to see. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Okay, so nonetheless, I this is my company. So if you want to learn more about me, want to learn more about what I do, you go to Media by Jay. That is on IG. That is actually on a whole bunch of other platforms. You can definitely check that out. Um, and ultimately, I do a lot of different things. So for those of you that don't know me, I am a pole videographer. I obviously have my own media company, and what that entails is that I have my particular clients that I work with. I help with their branding, I help with their marketing, and I basically take whatever they are starting from with their personal brand, and I help basically stretch it out to the next big thing. All right. So that is really what I do. So if you want to see what that consists of, you want to get in there, then go ahead and check it out. But right now we're doing lighting practice. I will have other videos, other lives. I'll actually have my models with me. But that'll be on special occasions. All right. So right now this is just to help grow the channel. But anyway, we'll get right into it. Let me finish setting up my flash when it comes to this one particular box, and then we'll get to taking the pictures. In the meantime, turn some music on. How much do you have money for all of this? Is that an actual question? I mean, I work. All right, so got this. So I am going to set up because I was supposed to have this done already, but we here with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my batteries in my speed light and my trigger. So this is, of course, the trigger. And what I'll do is I slide this off right here in the back. And I go ahead and insert these like so. Then I slide this back on. Okay. And now it's currently off. When I turn it on. All right. So that's that. So I'm gonna hold on to that because I'm gonna use it. All right, so now with these particular batteries, these are specifically for my camera and my speed light. So that way they don't die on me really quickly. So I can actually, these will last me, I'm gonna say a good 3 to 4 hours at a shoot. So this way I don't have to worry about having to replace my batteries too much. So now I am making sure that I am placing these in the right direction. So that'll be like this. All right, boom, in there. All right, then we are going to close it like that, then turn it on, and we're good to go with this. All right, cool. So that's that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this actual light just so I can get to moving. Okay, so that's that. That's this. Let's see. So now I'm going to put this inside of my umbrella. It's right here, this bracket, and that just goes right in here. You may have to put some muscle into it. And then it's supposed to stay locked in like this. So it shouldn't go anywhere. All right, so there's that. All right, just in case y'all having a hard time seeing. There we go. And that's what that looks like right there. All right, so that's in there. All right. Then the next thing I want to do is actually can go ahead and hook it right here. So what I'll do though, just to ensure, well, first I'll probably drop that down just to bring this up. So allow me more leeway. So I'll put this here, drop it in, make sure this is locked in. All right, so now we're here. Then I'm going to tighten this up right here. That way, if I try to move it, pull it, it shouldn't go anywhere. So now that is locked in. All right, and then the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and clip this in. All right. So as you can see, this is what's being attached right this second. Now this is why I love being on YouTube, because you get to see who really want to see what you got going on. I know a lot of y'all on here. For those that actually pay attention to my page, you're probably on here because of my videos that I've had of my dance shows that I've recorded. And it's the girls. I get it. I already know what it is. But don't forget who's behind all of this too. All right, so we're gonna put this on the edge, like literally this edge right here, and then we're gonna put this right there. All right. Now I can add the grid, but I'll do that. Actually, I can do that now, and I'll just hold on to it because I'm not doing the flash right now. We're gonna do the continuous lighting, and then I'm gonna play around with that. That's that. And then, of course, once I am ready for my light, it'll go in here, which I can actually go ahead and put it in there now. And all I'm doing is tightening it up in this hole right here. That way, that's good to go. That's when I am going to use that. So right now, I can cut it off until I'm ready. So I'm going to use the continuous, and that is this right here. All right, so let's run through this. So ideally, for this particular camera, I had, all right, I had my kit lens attached to it, right? So initially I had my kit lens attached to it, and of course, you can see my setup. I had my softbox on my left side, and I had or I still have my reflector. It's a circle reflector. I have that right here on the right side. That's mostly to bounce that light, right? But when I did my kit lens, which is an 85 to, it's like a 55 to an 85. But the kit lens, I had put it on here, and it was not getting, excuse me, it wasn't getting any light in. Like, it was dark. So the pictures, of course, I'll put them in the post once the video was done. You'll see what those look like. But then I had to I changed the lens. So right now it's a 50. So that allows me to, of course, turn my aperture down, thus bringing more light in. So that's what I had ended up doing. So currently right now, is what we're working with. So with that being stated, I am going to go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and start working on different light setups. So right now, the light setup that I want to mess with will be your Rembrandt. So I'm going to go through like the basics, right? So the Rembrandt would be the ones that's where it's like just one side of your face is lit and the other side isn't, okay? And again, I only have one light source right now. Like, out of everything else that's in here, there's only one light source. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to test it out, see what it looks like. So what we're going to do is turn this on. All right, so right now the shutter speed is at 120/25, 1/125. Aperture is at 1.8, and my ISO is at 100. Then I am going to lock in on that side. Then we're going to see how that looks. So right now it's counting down. I am going to adjust my light, so I'm going to do that right quick after I look and see what this looks like. Okay. So I'll bring you out this way, and you're going to kind of watch me move. So just bear with me because we're going to go through this whole thing. So I'm going to do that for the next 20 minutes or so, 20 minutes, almost 30 minutes. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch it up. So switch up the lighting. I'll probably go all the way dark, and then I'll go right into my flash. Okay. So now go back here. I am going to turn my aperture up a little bit because I need it to be brighter. So I'm going to bring my shutter speed down to 1/80. Bring this down some so it can be on the side of my face. Just to see what that looks like. All right, we're counting down. All right, let's see what it looks like. Because I'm definitely showing up a little blurry. This one's a little better. So what I'll do now, I'm going to bring the aperture up even more. I'm sorry, 2.8, and I'll bring the I'll bring the ISO up a little bit, just to 200, and then I will leave my shutter speed at 1/80, and I'm going to straighten this out, bring this up, because keep in mind it is a 50 millimeter, so it's up close. All right. Count down on that. And then we're going to switch up the angles a little bit. So look like 2.5 was clearer. It might be because of how I had it set up. That's the only thing with this. So in that case, I can try it with the speed light right quick, just so you guys can get an idea. But again, this is where I allow myself to make mistakes. So sometimes I want to switch up and not be exactly sure of what exactly I'm doing. But this is where we learn. So I'm gonna try this again because I was able to match it the first time. So let's leave it here like this. Let's see what that looks like. Stay, don't move. A little better. All right, well, that's the Rembrandt. Ideally, when somebody's in front of me, I'll be able to really capture this like how I want it. But in that case, I might be able to switch my lens back again. So now we're gonna try it with this. Okay, so this is the speed light. Now, the only difference is when it comes to obviously using the speed light, what it's doing is allowing me to freeze the uh, the shot. So that way, in case obviously if I had issues when it came to using without the speed light, I'd have to do the autofocus and all of that. So I want to make sure because I'm doing self portraits, I want to make sure that it's actually showing up like it's supposed to. So right now, I want to make sure we're on the right setting. So I'm going to hold off for quick, and then I'm going to adjust this mode. ATTL. There we go. All right, so now let's do a test shot. Oh, Let's see if this works. All right, so that's that. That's connected, so we know that's working. Yep. So it's definitely working because that lighting over there is also adjusted. So now I need to bring everything down. So I'm going to drop this. Well, hold on. First, we are going to drop our ISO down. Then I'm going to bring my shutter speed up. So ISO is at 100. Shutter speed is now I'm going to try 160. And then when it comes to the aperture, I'm going to try 3.2 to see if that looks good. Okay. And then now, because I saw how it looks, so I'm going to bring this up. And we're going to step it out right quick. But I feel like I may have to also adjust the let's see where you at. There we go. So that way we can drop it down some, like so. Then bring this up even more. Okay. Okay. So now let me bring this over. For those that are watching, I appreciate it because this is where I get to make all the mistakes that I can with the free time to do so. So ultimately, I will be doing more studying throughout the week of poses that I really want to nail. Or not even poses. I'll do different things, but right now it's lighting. So I'm gonna do lighting probably for the rest of the summer, till I feel like I'm very comfortable with it, and then I'll switch up to like poses and other things, to really start honing in on and getting better at. And then just practice. Practice. Really, all this comes down to practice. All right, so drop this down a little bit. So it shouldn't be as bright, and I could possibly move back. Uh, All right, so I do got my timer on. You know what? All right, a little quicker than I expected. So another thing that I wanted to make sure I am paying attention to when I'm doing these is that it is okay, because like right now I'm not caring for how my focus is, right? So I want to control that. So right now I'm in manual focus because when I go in the front of the camera, it goes away. And I don't know if it's because of the type of camera that I have that it does it in that way. But either way, we're going to try it out. Now keep in mind this is still very bright. So I can bring this down some more. Which could be either my camera, the aperture, or the shutter speed. I feel like it might be the shutter speed. We're gonna start with that. So we're gonna go to the shutter speed. I'm gonna do 250. I want to try out. Okay. Come on. Okay. That one was sharper, so that's good. I like that. All right, so we're getting somewhere. So all I really did was I adjusted the manual. I adjusted the manual focus instead of allowing it to do autofocus. if I had somebody here with me, I mean, I probably would do manual either way. But if be that I am by myself, I'm definitely want to make sure that I have the manual set up correctly. So now I'm more content with this image. So in that case, I'm going to turn this around because it is reflecting. So this way, if I turn my reflector around, now I can be able to really get more of a darker realm. So that's the reflector right here. At first, this side was the one I was showing. So now I'm gonna have this side showing, which is going to block out some of the light. Talk like somebody that actually knows what I'm doing. So let's go back and look at these last image to see if I need to move. So it's good, but it's a little bright. But I am moving this out the light for a minute, just like that. And then now with this, with flash, I'm actually it doesn't hurt too bad to add the ambient light because now it's not gonna affect it because it's flash. Flash is gonna be focused on the picture is gonna really be focused on what I am focused on in itself as far as the camera and where the light is actually grabbing the source from. So the light ambient light is not even gonna touch anything. But we're gonna go ahead since we know that I like this way the manual setup for that is set that up, flip it. And I'm here. All right. I did move, but let's see what it does. That looks so much better. All right, I'm gonna do another drastic drop just to see if anything changes. Okay. Um, and the reason being is so that I can kind of soften it up a little. Right now it's a little harsh. All right. All right. I almost feel like I need to sync the camera so y'all can see what I'm looking at. But I know when I do the reach that I share it, it's gonna show uh better that way. So all right. Still, this is all still Rembrandt, by the way. All still Rembrandt. Because what time are we looking at? Oh yeah, 8:30. So I'm gonna do a couple more shots like this, but this is me still testing out what lighting I want. So let's move the aperture up to 4.0. Let's do shutter speed to 1 over 500. You see if that changes. Then I'm gonna go back to live view. Then I make sure I have my um make sure I have my focus the way that I want it. Go ahead and press the button, and I can bring this back a little bit. All right, now we're gonna see what that looks like. Now, I personally love this one compared to the others. Yeah. So the drastic change that I made helped a lot. All right, and I will do one more like this. Sharpness could be better, but I'm not tripping about it because again, it's the self-portrait. So that'll be something I have to look up as far as how to do better with those. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I can change out my lens because the kit lens will actually shoot better, and it'll put me more in focus. All right, so you guys can get an idea of what exactly I'm doing right now. So at this current moment, I am switching my 50 lens back to my kit lens, which is the 85. This one I was mentioning about. This is the 18 through to 55. This is a kit lens that normally comes with your camera. They usually tell you don't use it, is because of the fact that they say it's unprofessional. I don't agree. I feel like you can really use any lens you want as long as you know how to work it. So that's where I'm at right now with this. So I'm going to use my kit lens, and I'm going to replace it, and mostly because it will put me more in focus. Um, overall for everything. And I'm still learning to see if this is a setting situation or if it is as far as on my camera itself, or if it is a lens situation when it comes to the amount of focus that you will get when it comes to your images. When you're doing like self portrait. So far as looking like it is probably going to be a lens situation because the 35 and the 50, I have to really, it has to fine tune it, right? Because it's mostly there for the, what is it, bokeh view, where you have the blurred background, right? So you're not going to get everything in focus. Whereas if I use my 85, everything's in focus. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot with this and see what that looks like. And luckily, I don't have to really adjust my speed light because it kind of it figures out what lens I'm using and it adjusts for me. So now I am going to set my, this one I can do autofocus if I feel like it, or I can just say, you know what, I don't have time, and just do manual. And we're gonna try with the manual to see what that looks like. All right, still got the, all right. So I'm gonna see what this looks like. That's what I wanted it to look like. That's what I wanted it to look like. Learning, eureka! So now, only thing I can see. All right, I'm gonna show you what I'm looking at. So this is the picture I just took right now. All right. So what I'm looking at and what I kind of want to adjust. So luckily I got the lighting exactly how I want it to. All right. So it is actually, it got me sharp. That's one. So if I zoom in, you can see details. Right. So that's that. Now, the amount of light that I have for this one side is exactly what I wanted as well. It's not too bright, so that's perfect. The distance that I have between me and the flash, the speed light is great. Now, the only thing I am noticing, of course, is this shadow right here. So that either can be me having to do another day of just focusing on shadows and not worrying about it right now because I did finally get the lighting how I wanted it to. So I think I'm gonna roll with that. But I'm gonna do a separate one just focusing on the shadows and understanding how to manipulate it so that way I am not finding myself where I have a lot of shadows in my videos. Okay. Or I mean not my videos, my pictures. All right, think about talking like I'm doing a video right now, even though I am. All right. So make sure my light is still on. So now I'm gonna switch up a little bit. We'll switch up. So since we got the lighting, I'm going to probably rotate this to do the different movements of my positioning for my light, and then I will change the background, change the backdrop, so that way I can do. Um, hold on, make sure I bring y'all back here. I'm gonna switch out the lighting. I mean, yeah. Well, actually, the lighting's fine. But I'm gonna switch out the backdrop, change my outfit after I do these movements right here, just so I can give you guys an idea what that looks like. All right, so we here. All right, so I'm gonna take you out right quick. So since I'm gonna try it without that for this one, and make sure I'm in the middle. That's also gonna help a lot. All right, go ahead and count that down. Softbox right here. That is kind of spaced out a little bit, and all I gotta do is turn slightly towards the light. Cool. Now see what that looks like. I'm sure it's gonna be great. Perfect. Right. Of course, shadow's still doing what it's doing, but I'm not tripping about that. So now that I got the lighting and where I'm positioned in the image where I want it to be. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate the lighting. So I will put the lighting towards my face. Actually, hold on one more time here, and then I'm going to reflect it to see if that gets rid of the shadow. So we're now turning to this side and facing it towards me, so that way the light can bounce off of me. Very satisfied with this now. Turn this. Yep, it added a little bit to it. Now, I said I wasn't gonna mess with the shadow, but I'm thinking about do I need to move forward? So that's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do a move up. I'm gonna turn this forward, moving towards the camera, just so that way to see if that'll get rid of the shadow. All right. So I'm gonna move here instead of being back here. I'll move right here. It made me get rid of the shadow. So space helps get rid of the shadow. All right. All right. So space meaning moving away from the backdrop helps get rid of the shadow. So now I'm going to zoom out some. All right, balance that out. I'm gonna drop this down some, and I'm gonna point this. There we go, towards the middle of this. Then we are going to try this angle. Yeah, just moving towards the camera helped a lot when it came to the shadow. Okay, so now what I'm going to do. All right, so now we're gonna rotate the light, meaning I'm gonna move it here, so it's right in front of me. Which is funny because I had another idea of what I wanted to do with my lighting today, but sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches. So this is fine because it helps me. Just had to adjust. So now with this, because the light is like right up on me, this is where I will increase either the shutter speed or lower the lights, lower the power on the speed light, which I feel like that might be the best. Actually, let's see. All right, so we are going to. ISO is already at. I mean, ISO shutter speed is already at 1/500. I am actually gonna take up the aperture to 9. See if that makes a difference. Let's see if that makes a difference. Away from the backdrop. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna have y'all look at it. I love this one. You guys are gonna see why. Okay, so this is what the picture looks like. Now I like because the amount of light that came out of it, and then of course when it comes to the sharpness, perfect. Like this is essentially the best quality that I would want to go with. Okay, so that's oh man, that looks really really good. So this is me doing my settings at 1/500. All right, aperture is a 9.0. ISO is only at 100. Try not to keep the ISO too high because, of course, when it comes to the grain, all right. But the aperture, the higher I go, the sharper it will be, as far as the whole entire image. And then I'd even adjust the speed light. So that was just me just adjusting the aperture. So perfect. But yeah, I love that. That's beautiful to me. All right, so we're gonna keep rolling with that. I'm gonna see if I can replicate it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and switch over the position of the lighting. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go find my white shirt. In 1 second. Bob, your mama said she wanted you to help her to bring her laptop. Yeah, right here. All right. Got the white version. All right, so I feel like this is gonna be more complimentary with the backdrop. All right, so we're gonna roll with that. See what it look like. Hmm. Um. All right. So now we learned a few things. Let me let me really have you look at me while I'm talking. So we learned a few things. All right. First and foremost, to avoid the shadow, move away from the backdrop. So that's me giving space. If I'm too close to the backdrop, a shadow will be created. And when it comes to the lighting, to make sure I get the sharpest image, I make sure that I am using the high aperture. So that way, at least when it comes to my kit lens with the speed light, okay? Use a high aperture. Right now I'm at 9.0. That helps me be able to capture everything in its entirety in a very sharp image. ISO was really low at 100. And then on top of all of that, when it comes to the actual positioning of the lighting, that bringing my aperture up to 9.0 actually reduced the amount of light that is coming through. So that way it's not so bright. So that's why I'm trying to see if I can replicate it with this white shirt because I feel like it'll look better. It'll be more complimentary. All right, so turn this on. Click on live view. Then I'm going to adjust. Then let me see. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Then change my focus. Then we're gonna test that out. Make sure I'm in the middle. Move closer. All right. So now we see what it looks like. Oh my God! It did it again. It did it again. So now The glare of the glasses. Something else I really don't need to focus on right now, but I know me. So all I'm gonna do is probably turn slightly away from the light. Usually they want you to turn towards the light. All right. So what I'll do is I'll move slightly away from it. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. All right. So slightly away from the light. So distance from here to here, then slightly away. I may do that again because I moved a little bit, but I'm gonna check it out anyway because I'm making sure the glare is gone. And it's gone. Ah. Now I'm probably gonna do a different pose just because. Now with me getting closer, I can move this back. But I love how it looks. Oh my god, I love how it looks so much. So now it makes me want to do portrait pictures even more. Right now we have like less than 15 minutes before my time is up, but I'm having a great time. I'm very excited with what I've created. And even if I want to do some other testing of lights, but even if not here, at least I know that I was able to start really getting better with this part. So I'll do one more like this, and then I'm going to move the lighting up. See what that look like. You have to do that. That's perfect. Oh. All right. All right. I'm looking at really tiny little things that I can adjust, which is stretching out the backdrop. I really need a steamer. So I think that's all I'll need to get eventually. But even with this one, I got shadow in the back. So that means I am still too close. And then I'm going to move the light. I'm going to move it up and have it facing down on me. Okay, let's see if that helps in any type of way. All right. So all I did was move it more towards the center. I can actually drop this down if I really wanted to try a different effect. And then I'll have this pointed this way, do the live view. All right, so then I want to make sure that this is straight enough. Boom. All right, let's do it. So we're here, but we're gonna move closer. I like it, but it's cutting my face off. So what I'll do, I'll probably drop down a little bit to get to reach it. All right, do one more so I can be in the middle. Nicer, nicer, nicer. Okay. So make sure that I personally am going to be right here in this middle line, the middle line. Move up. Yeah, these are coming out really fast. All right, so that's that. So now let's see what we got. Let's do somewhere I'm sitting. Let's do somewhere I'm sitting. That way I can take a break because that's gonna be the last ones. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna leave it in one position, and I'm gonna put a chair right here. I am gonna move this back here. Problems they follow me. Then I'm going to leave this here to kind of do the fill light. Problems they follow me. And I close my eyes. All my troubles they fade. Ah, Alessia Cara. Okay. Same thing. I can try to move this back some. And then turn this. Try to see what it looks like. At this point, I have not changed any of my settings anymore. I am happy with it. So at this point, all I'm doing is making sure that I have this position in the right place. So ideally, this would be like a headshot situation, right? So I have the light here. See what that looks like. Now, because I moved it to the side, it is because I moved the light further out away from me, is definitely is back darker. And because all I can do with that is just adjust my aperture. When I close my eyes. Actually, I'm gonna drop down my shutter speed to 1/200. And then I want to zoom out some. Sleeping in this bed now. Sleeping in this bed now. I love this song. So we're gonna run that back. I didn't tell myself that I was to bring y'all closer so you guys can see it better. Let's try this away. All right. Now, ideal here so you guys can see how that goes. So you guys can see I'm at 1/250. Aperture is 9.0. ISO is at 100. Then we are going to test it out in the live view. Well, make sure that I am sitting properly. And I'm going to go ahead and just do a test shot that I can check it. So far, I'm not in the right, I'm not in the shot, so I need to adjust it. So now I need to move the light closer because I already done adjusted the shutter speed. So I move the light closer. They follow me. Let's see here. I am going to actually zoom out some more. My problems so far. And I'm probably going to drop down the aperture some. Hold that. Go down to, let's say 6.3. All right. And we're going to test that out. Oh, damn it. Lighting's looking a little better. All right. I'm probably going to move this right here. Hey. Let's see. Just want to make sure this is sharp enough. Okay. I was supposed to adjust this and bring this down. That's actually not bad. That's not bad at all. I'm gonna bring this light, push it back some more. I need to point this up. Point it up or zoom out some more. So maybe zooming out. And in that case, if I'm gonna do that, I might as well go ahead and flip it. All right. Let's see. Make sure I can still see. That's good. All right. So now we're gonna slight adjustments. So probably gonna leave that where it's at. All right. Let's try that. Lower. Now, you see what I'm seeing? Slightly bright on this side. So I move the light back some more. I'm gonna bring this chair up a little bit. And now, adjusting this here to be closer to me, to actually fill up me. All right, so that's that. We're almost done here, y'all. I appreciate y'all bearing with me, but this is pretty much the end. Right now, I'm just kind of really play around with some of these. I'll probably make one more drastic change just in case it's not doing like I wanted to. All right, so I got rid of the shadow that was here. Move the chair up some. Now, what I'm gonna do is to make it more flattering, I'm gonna bring this up some and then have it point down at me. All right, and then we're about done. What time is it now? It's 9 already. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will go ahead and actually end this with y'all, but I'll probably do a couple more shots for myself. But if you guys just want to just play around with some stuff, maybe you have ideas like, hey, can you try this angle, and you're in the position like me, like I do normally videography. So I don't really do a lot of photography, but I am wanting to do more and understand it more to be better. So that's why I have these Thursday sessions where I just mess around and do a bunch of photography mistakes, just so you guys can look to see that it's not always linear. That you will have to go through some ups and downs. You will have to try some stuff that don't work, just so you can know what does work. You will not see this all the time when it comes to other photographers, but I want to make sure that I am removing the nervousness and the anxiety when it comes to shooting. So just to ensure that, hey, I've tried all these things and I've done it in front of other people, and I don't have no worries. I already know what works and what doesn't work. So that's the thing for today. Thank you guys again. I will catch you guys on my next one next Thursday.